Hey, welcome back to another episode. Hashtag randomly with Ronnie Jr. Now, today we do not have, we got a little bit of a feedback, a little echo. Or is that just the world telling me that my voice is being heard today? We usually have Russell Ray with us, who's out this week. However, we brought in from the YouTube channel, which is a very good channel. It's called The Lean. We brought in Tez. What's up, Tez?
What is going on, Ronnie? Thanks for having me on your show. I've been here before. I don't know what we're talking about, but
we were talking about, actually, Tez, me and Dennis is another correspondent friend of mine. We were talking about Housewives of Miami last year, season 1.
Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. Miami, so cool, because I remember you're a big fan of Larsa, and so. Everyone's
starting to know that. Just again, the YouTube channel, go check it out. Recapping tons of different programs, and he's very consistent. And Tez has been a very helpful colleague of mine in terms of my channel, and it's good to work with people, and also I should let you know, Larsa's that girl, right? We know that, but you know who else is that bitch? Oh, watch out. This is Tez coming. She don't play. So
none.
Yeah, I gotta let you know, we always bring a good show. Tez, my first question to you, and we'll get right into the recap because this was a to be continued into another to be continued. Coming off, and I have a clip we'll air in a second, but coming off last week, can you give me where your mindset was with the Nicole Larsa scenario? I just want to know where your head's at.
Okay, so crazy, because I have always Nicole from the first season, right? And I feel like in this situation, she is justified in feeling the way she feels. I mean, Larsa, I understand what Larsa's trying to say, but sorry. I do feel like in this moment, Larsa, the girl basically said that she doesn't know, like she didn't know you, so she was, apprehensive about you being her home. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm apprehensive about people being in my home as well. Like I feel like. Mm-hmm. Know you, I don't necessarily want you in my space, so I completely get that. And I do feel like, as Nicole says, what I'm sorry, we actually, I'll leave it alone.
Okay, it's good.
Nicole, I see nothing wrong. I like Larsa to an extent, but I can't reason with her in this moment. I'll say that. I'll leave it at that because there's more to talk about.
Yeah, this episode. Okay, well, I'm going to take you back towards where we were at in terms of everyone has a different opinion, which we love. But because everyone knows Ronnie randomly for going hard in the paint for Larsa, I wanted to show you, Tez, where I was standing from last week's episode, and then we'll move into this week. So this is what I had to say about what Nicole's problem is. And mind you, I like Nicole. Nicole is very good. However, check this out. It feels like Dr. Nicole is talking to Larsa like she's a fan that didn't get in, and so now she's mad. Like her preference, like Adriana, they wanted to be Larsa's fan, not friend, but they were just fan. They were just the fan, and because they get to occupy the same spaces, they get real mad about that. But they would have preferred the other side. I just feel really like, what was the issue? Oh, I stick to my guns, I tell you. I do like Nicole, so that's all we if you watched our episodes here at hashtag randomly with Ronnie Jr., you know that I love Nicole. Dr. Anthony is a piece of work. I'm kind of like into it. And here's my last thing, just to bring Tez up to date as to where I stand with, going into this to be continued. Check this out. Little shady, but let's go. I did not feel that Larsa had any animosity towards Dr. Nicole. In fact, when Dr. Nicole mentioned what she mentioned, Larsa's like, huh? What? Like, and then Dr. Nicole, who I have been thinking is the coolest new cast member on Bravo, Peacock rather, she says, well, we haven't really got to sit with each other because, it's been a little bit weird. Larsa's like, what's your name, dear? Like, who are you? And then Dr. Nicole goes on to say, but that's none of our faults. It takes two to tango. If I'm Larsa, I'm looking at this clown in front of me like, who are you? I don't even know you. And you're telling me that we have an issue. What is going on?
That is the problem right there.
Ooh, Ronnie, tell us how you really feel.
Ronnie is he's telling us how he feels.
Anyway,
I understand that. I had a weird. I mean, they started off just weird from the beginning, from the first season. So they're both justified feeling like, okay, kind of back up off this person and kind of because they don't have a real relationship. They both came off on mental type stuff. It seems like Larsa felt judged. I mean, well, I know we're going back to last season, but
yeah, no, it comes up.
Nicole judging Larsa last season.
Do I feel? Well, it was going to come up here in the notes, so this is great that you bring it up now. And we're going to get through this episode in a timely manner. I think what happened maybe is some of the girls last season thought this is a prime opportunity. Larsa's coming off this, what I never agreed with, this the Kardashians, cast you aside. But if you're like Ronnie and if you're like Larsa, nobody could cast me aside. I'm amazing regardless. And I think a couple of the girls tried it last season where they thought, oh, she's kind of like, not as Kardashian-esque. She's rushing back to Miami. So let me try her. And I think that each of them, Adriana, of course, and Nicole, they got handled really, to be honest.
I agree. Also has, that tongue is very sharp.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to spar with her. I know. I mean, my thing is Adriana. Definitely a fan, definitely a hater. There's no way. I mean, look at her season. Everything she talked about last season, she season, including that she got that doesn't really exist. I don't know what she did, but as far as Nicole, I don't get that same vibe. I do feel like Nicole has, and she puts herself on a very platform because she is educated and she have a true profession. And I think that's something when it comes to people in success. I don't think she intends condescending or judging. But when it comes to Larsa, when you have women like that, let's say for example you're watching like Married to Medicine, you have the doctors, you have the there's just always this, the doctors are going to always use this over
right,
because the fact that they're just housewives. That's really all it is. I do feel like Larsa also she gets said a lot. Everybody tells Larsa that without Scottie Pippen, she's nothing, right? That's something like she's heard a lot. And I think she has a guard built up for that. So from Nicole, I don't think Nicole was. There was just a lot of they just kind of really badly. I think they actually could have been friends, but I don't think that they're to this cup of tea. I'll say
right.
Really, they're not the same kind of girls either.
No. And that's the thing. It's like, don't hate the player, hate the game, I guess, because I understand what Dr. Nicole's saying. Like, this is where I had to do to navigate to the scenario, and you did something different. But at the same time, by saying that, you're kind of being shady to women in general who have a route to be a wife. Like, if Larsa was just a little jump off situation, we could see it as a different thing. But I'm never, and I said this last episode, I'm not going to negate ever a woman who marries and happens to marry this wonderful basketball player, one of the best ever, and creates a life with him, 4 children. I don't 20 something years. I never think of that as not doing anything, and I would never like judge like, oh, her best work was on her back type. I could never.
But you do remember that I mean Larsa used that seed against in the early part of the season, right?
Talking about to who?
To Lisa. She gave same like read at Lisa.
Oh, we did see the flashbacks. Yeah, that is, and we are. I think we're all in agreement. Is that yes, Larsa when?
Yeah. She feels like she. I think say this. She has so many businesses, right? And I feel like she's doing that to try to get out of that box of I come from being a basketball player. But realistically, her fame, her success, and her name, Scottie Pippen. I mean, that's just the reality of it. And so when she used that against Lisa earlier in the season, it was just like, are you in the mirror? I don't know how I felt. So when Nicole does it, Nicole has a profession, but Larsa's instead of doing the same to other women. In this case Lisa, she she does have I think I'm better. It's just not. It's not. I think I'm better with the profession. Is better because I'm Larsa. In most cases, she is.
I was saying last episode, I get so worked up defending Larsa. I'm like, Ronnie, you gotta chill. Larsa don't even know you exist. So
it's like that sometimes you have to remove yourself and be like,
I'm like, it has nothing to do with me. Real quick, just as a fun little we don't have Russell Ray with us here today, but Tez, I thought this was a fun clip that we wanted to show from last week's episode. This is when we were talking about Adriana and to have a fake butt or to not have a fake butt. Let's check this out. What else do we have? We have everyone getting ready for this big get together. Well, that was the get together. So that was like the fun side, or the nice
Adriana's butt.
Oh, tell me about Adriana's butt. Yes, we saw Adriana's butt. Boom, there it is.
You know what? Here's the thing. Look, I'm so tired of everybody getting fake butts. Just stop. Just stop. I mean, I get it. If you're like this, I get it. You want a little hey, little whoa, you know. Come on.
Well, I plan on getting the hey and the whoa. Hello, doctor.
You need a little hey, little whoa.
Yeah. Because I'm like this. I need the hey and the whoa.
Look, I've worked. Let me just show you. I've worked very hard.
Oh, no, this one.
Hold on. I've worked very hard for what
Look at that dookie.
Here. Okay, thank you.
Not a live demonstration.
And it is possible. If I can do it, you can do it too.
This show right here. And if you want to see more of Russell Ray, he's out this week. He'll be back with us next week. You can check out Create the Escape, which is also on the Peacock streaming platform. It is a escape room with parents and kids, and it's fun. And it was one of the first shows that actually aired on the Peacock streaming channel. And this week we've got Tez hanging out. Tez, so question.
Mm-hmm.
Tez from the Lean. Question: did you miss Lisa in this episode? Because the only Lisa moment we had was Adriana being sweet and saying, "Oh, I know there's a guy that kind of likes you in Miami." Adriana usually is a bit boring for me, so the fact that she was exciting and warm and charming, I kind of liked it.
Adriana is very boring. To me, was more entertaining in the first season. Oh, the season 4, whatever it was, last year's season. But this year, I don't really find her to be really interesting. Whereas I'm invested in her storyline, it's just like at this point, we've seen it kind of rumble and everything. At this point, they're going through a separation. So I don't think I miss Lisa. I know it's fiction, but I don't have to see her arguing with Lenny like that's what I feel like every scene are arguing with,
right,
or coming to them with more things that Lenny is doing to her, and it's just like not entertaining. So no, I did not miss her.
I think it's redundant for sure. And what I'll say is Lisa stands alone amazingly on her own. So I am excited about that next chapter. So I agree with you on that part. Alexia has the Dimoya Foundation with Jimena handbags and accessories. I just thought the event was cute. I know a lot of people really, when they watch Housewives, they only like the drama and the I'm going to expose you and expose your husband, all these things. I still like a warmth in a show. I feel like it gives the peaks and valleys that are necessary. Some of my takes from that event were that Peter was there with apparently his girlfriend. There was well, actually, did you have any other takes from that? I mean, it just was a cute event is what I'm getting at, because I love to see Frankie get his moment.
I did enjoy seeing Frankie. He came at it. I keep thinking what he said. He was like, "What the girl?"
Yeah,
it was cute. I do enjoy seeing, but I didn't get anything from it. It was nice. It was a nice event though.
In that event, and we're ending that event, the only thing that is going to trickle over into the later part of the conversation is that Larsa called Nicole fake. Do you want to give a little nugget of what you felt about that actual sentence? Do you like people that give it up and are direct, like, this is what I feel you are? Or do you feel like that sets a tone to like tons of other issues?
I'm a very blunt person. If it needs to be said, I feel like you should say it. I know some things are best unsaid, but anyways, that's how she feels. I mean, I wish she would have given that, from the, because it with Larsa seems like, like Nicole says, she's waiting to retaliate. Every time has not always has a rebuttal. Every time that you come at her or say anything to her, and she feels defensive, I'll say that she's very defensive, and I think she always lashes. I think you're fake. Yes, I think you're fake. It's definitely. She can say what she say, but I would led with that versus a six she said it just because Nicole is telling her how she feels about her.
We have a couple photo cutaways that we run whenever something is like shocking, and he said, "What?" Tess said, "Larsa is defensive." I'm shocked.
She is defensive as hell. Actually, like she does. I mean, I understand her. Like I can be defensive. When you're the kind of person you've done something and you feel like people are coming for you or your accomplishments. Like you naturally want to defend yourself. And with her she defends herself, but it comes with a whole lot more.
True. And I think that's what we love about this show, because I see a lot of myself, and you probably do, in Dr. Nicole, and we see a lot of ourselves in Larsa too. It's like kind of every of this cast gives you versions of yourself. There are times where I'm like, oh wow, Ronnie, you just got so hot and bothered. You were quick with the, like a Larsa shade type moment, but it's not always that serious. But I watch the show and it makes me chuckle because I'm like, ooh, I've done that before. Anyway, moving on, I wanted to say I absolutely loved the family moment, Gertie's game night. What are your thoughts on all that?
You know what? I got tuned out.
Wait, because it was boring, or because you don't like this type of reality TV?
I'm invested in this this whole. I'm so busy. I'm always working. I gotta now make time for my family. I know. I feel like it's definitely her. I'm just not invested in it. I'm currently going through a Lindy on Potomac, so it's just like all right, it's just not keeping my interest. But she looks great in this little.
I like Gertie's enthusiasm. I can, because the scene was almost like it was cut in real time. It wasn't even edited practically. But I did think it was cute, and I think this whole spillover between Lisa, this happened to Lisa, it could happen to either of us, so we're all gonna, in our respective relationships.
Yes, that was. I will say I did like that because I feel like it's important that happening there around you. You got to check in at home, because you gotta make sure you're okay. And I get it. No one wants to be in a place where they have just in a place like, and especially when you're married or in a relationship in general. Like I thought that was probably the most key thing that she's doing. People may be like, oh, she's insecure or whatever in comments online, but I think she's well in her right to check in at home to make sure we're good, right? Because sometimes you need that.
Yeah. You could see a lot through your friends. You could see speaking of mirrors, which we'll get to. But before we got the GOAT coming in here with the comments. So let's say hi to from the lean. The Chase Show said loved Gertie's game night. Yeah, it was sweet. It was just sweet and lovable, and you need those moments, I think.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
He's like, I need the drama.
I just have to go to the restroom, and I do it on certain. I'm sorry.
Not Gertie's magical family scene being the bathroom moment. I can't take this one. Okay. Moving on. See, now here comes where I get a little judgmental. So what did you think about Julia and the adoption? I like that she got with their stylist. I believe his name was LaSalle. I like how he kept it 100% honest and even was a little bit stern with her. Do you feel like she's I don't want to use these words, but do you feel like she's a little bit using this as an aspect of a storyline? Do you feel like she's unfulfilled, in the regards of, now I'm going to get another, I need somebody to fill that void of the empty nest. What do you think Julia is really, really doing here?
Oh, we talked about this on our show, and over the course of the season, and I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I don't really know what Julia is like. I want to understand her. Like I do know people that have these issues, and they get to a point to, for example, okay, the kids are at the house. Like, what do we do now? It's just these two are on different spectrums, right? And with Julia, it seems like she just wants something to nurture and take care of. She has a farm, and I mean, on the farm, she has whatever she's going to nurture there. But I think it's just I don't know. I personally, if I had kids, I don't think I would be glad when they turned and got out of the house. But that's how I was raised. My mom was glad when I was 18, but I don't really understand. And as far as the storyline, it's quite interesting that she was talking all of a sudden it happens. Like, oh, we're gonna adopt. Now that to me felt really planned because
right.
the Martina that I saw earlier in the season, she had her foot down, like that. And it seemed like, I don't know, maybe she just caved in. I guess the little fish dinner was great. I don't know, but
you know, I love the great Melissa Gorga, but a lot of people not came for her, but like had issue with their, are we gonna, what was it? Not a surrogacy, whatever the thing was, where a lot of the fans were like, you know, darn well, this is not going to be carried out.
yeah.
Now I love Melissa Gorga, so I usually find a way to defend her. But in this case, this felt the same. This felt very like, it's a nice thing to introduce. I think we don't have enough women of a certain age talking about these issues. She did sort of transition it into don't say gay, even though they weren't really talking about that, but I could still appreciate all that. So every aspect I could appreciate. I just don't know how authentic it is. And my big thing with Julia is whatever it takes, be like, I want to see you happy with Martina. And if we're being critical, we're only being critical because we're saying, make sure that you're not just filling a void, because I mean, I think she even said it in this show. She said, and then when I adopt and that one gets older, I'll adopt again. Like, Julia, you're not going to be 95.
Well, that's the thing is, at what point will you feel whole in the? I mean, how many kids are you going to have? How many kids you want to raise? You know, it's so crazy. I don't know.
And I know, and as a compassionate person here, I know that she may have a different relationship with her children, and you know what had happened with her son. So, and we'll leave that there. But so I will say, there's a well-rounded, like, I hope that she finds what she's looking for. There you go. I hope she finds what she's looking for. That's kind of the best way to say it. But is she wacky too much for me? Where I'm like, come on, it kind of gets me. But at the same time, it's okay. What are your thoughts on how we all shaped the episode here, where Larsa has her son Preston? She's talking about loving her 4 children. And I think Preston actually this season, he played in the game that was a really, really big basketball game. Now, I don't do the sports test. However, there was the game this season that just happened. My brother educated me on all this. There was the one that was a 20-year anniversary of when LeBron played Carmelo. And now both of their sons were playing. And I think Preston was there too, because Scotty was there as well. So I think he runs in that group of really talented, I don't know what league it is, or Canyon something. Anyways, it was good to see him. And I think for the anti-Larsa fans, I think it was good to see she reminded you in a way that she is a mother. She cares about her kids. Just, we live in different lifestyles. You know what I mean? Everyone is different. Did you get any warmth with that?
I mean, you know what? I will say what I do enjoy about Larsa the most is her relationship with her kid. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Like when I look at Larsa, I be like, oh my God, Larsa is she out here, right? But I always wonder, like, I adore it when I see the moments where her, because her kid, like especially her daughter, when she was shopping for her, I think was it this episode or the previous, like
last episut.
Right, she loved her kids, and I do enjoy seeing her with her children. If nothing else, she's time with them. She's out having a good time. She does this, but you always see scenes with her, regardless. Whoever's there, she's never not with the kids. I'll say that, and they're like practically almost grown, most of them, right?
Yeah. Well, the youngest is probably 14 now. Yeah.
So I mean, you know.
Yeah, and I think that goes for every franchise. These, you know, I think one of the best scenes I've ever seen, at least on, I mean, I like Potomac, is like how even when Giselle will have issues with Karen, I remember Karen was so respectful of Giselle's kids, and I like that. And I think that it's important to see that in these shows, because we get all the drama, but it's like they're all not all of them, but they're mothers, they're navigating their lives or whatever. It's cute. Okay, so then Gertie comes in. Do we feel like Gertie didn't know anything? Is Gertie playing both sides?
I don't think she knew. You know, Gertie's very dramatic. I don't think that she knew, because when it went down, she was legit shocked. So no, I don't think she knew.
Okay. I was like, is she overplaying it? She was like with the faces, and she was like, oh, I want that invite.
Never even say overplaying anything, because that's just what, I mean, literally, that's who she is. Like, she's probably, next to Kyle, the most dramatic housewife, face-wise, that in this moment. She is always making faces, always like shocked. So I don't think she knew.
Yeah, we like Gertie, we like her expressions, and she gives us a lot. And we're always speaking of faces from Housewives of Miami. We can't forget about this. The great Marisol with the lipstick on the teeth back in the early episodes. Oh yeah, we bring that up quite a bit. So what was your thoughts on it? Because we have two different scenes kind of going at once. We have Dr. Nicole and Anthony. They're at a restaurant. Anthony's getting very shady, and I know the bar is always set with like Peter, don't get in grown women's business. Was Anthony, who is gorgeous, Anthony, who I'm like, yes, I think I said last episode, I think I'll try to redo it. Anthony, take me on your plane. Like I was so like hot and bothered by he's a sexy man. Like it is what it is. But this was not what I was expecting. Your thoughts?
Completely agree. It was binge. I think that you can have an opinion, but he was making a lot of personal attacks at Larsa. Very Peter, very Joe Gorga.
Oh no.
Yes, he's very at this point he will be put up there with them. And if Larsa were to, I guess, snap back in any kind of way, it would be warranted. Just because like he kind of crossed the line with his comments. It's one thing to support your but the comments he's making at Larsa, I feel like a man should be making a woman, especially when she's attacking him directly. She may be talking about the wedding and stuff like that, but she's never said anything negative about him, has she? I don't think. Maybe you can, you're wrong.
I mean, I don't think, and obviously we don't see everything. We're going off what we see on the show. Right. It just didn't look good. The joke he made earlier was I think it was
still the man.
I think they were gonna we're gonna go somewhere, and he goes, oh, don't take Larsa because so and so's married or whatever, as insinuating she's gonna be the type that would date a married guy. That was funny. I don't even think Larsa would take that bad, but he was kind of crossing over. When you start as a grown man talking about like best work on her back type stuff, which I don't know if necessarily was said like that, but it felt that way.
I can't remember what he said, honestly, but I know he made a couple of comments, so it was just like, Jesus, all right, tell us how you.
Where do you feel like Dr. Nicole played in a lot of that, or where do you think her even mindset was? Because she is the one who really is bringing it to the table, literally, and she is sort of part of her conversation with her husband there is that she's happy about the engagement party tomorrow. She's juicing, but then the other part is like Larsa, and I'm not saying Nicole's obsessed with Larsa, but she's clearly bothered by her. What I found interesting was it kind of feels like, I mean, I just, everyone always says projection, but it does feel like a little bit of a projection. Like, because Larsa's been in this certain lifestyle. She's, again, maybe through Scotty, however you wanted to decide, it doesn't matter. She still has couth about the way she moves, in my opinion. Larsa does. Dr. Nicole is the one who is, smiling in the confessional and saying, oh, we only have level 10 parties, or it's a this, it's the that, and this is a level 10, and we're renting this out. It almost feels like Dr. Nicole cares more about money and status than maybe she wants to let on. Can you see that a little?
Not really. I mean, she has money. They have money. I mean, I don't think it's like something that she just cares about, but because she's not really a in your face type girl. I don't get that. That's why I say like her and Lars are like so different. They would really never be true friends because they're different.
Oh, so you think that maybe only came out because if Lars is cutting deep, I'm going to cut deep back. That's kind of what that was.
And I think the comment that Lars made, I don't know if we talked about it, but I mean you probably talked about it in your last week's recap, but about the whole sleeping with people in the hospital. Like, I think that like really her. And now she take gloves off. So I think that's just more so what it is. She feels attacked again. She already, they did show flashbacks of her in these comments about this teacher. So they've shown a lot of things, I guess, to justify why Nicole feels the way she feels. But I think she's projecting. I didn't get that from it, but
there's something that is bothering me about Nicole. And again, I liked her all through the season. These last two have been a flop for her, in my opinion. I literally like had to look at the camera and say, Nicole, I like you, but like, yeah, flop 2 episodes in a row, in my opinion. But I think it's also because she's trying too hard. There you go. She's got a case of the I'm trying too hard right now. And you could kind of see it She's trying so hard to like navigate everything. Now, I will be a human and very, very compassionate to see where that comes from. She did refer to, not only in this episode, you know, we know she has problems with her father, but even going back to when we first met her last season, season 4, her first season, you know, there was some issues with her father and they, you know, lost everything. I think in a good and bad way, what she went through, you know, that bit of trauma has really led her to be you know, 20 years of education, and I'm going to be the smartest girl in the room and the most, you know, tenacious. So I can see why she wants to be so perfect, but I think when you go on a reality show, it's a really hard thing to be so perfect or to try to be so perfect. Don't you kind of see that?
I just don't get that from Nicole.
Oh, you think she's just easy breezy? I don't think easy.
I don't think she's a very simple girl. Wow. I don't want to use her simple. I feel like she's that complex of a person. I mean, she has her own issues with her, you know, her family, her mom, and her dad. But as far as like, I feel like she's like unproblematic. I don't find her to be much of an issue, to be honest, compared to
okay.
That's just me.
No, I like that you have that comment and that point of view because it's good to have different point of views. And I thought that for me, I was looking at it as like she's again trying too hard or trying to convince us all of these things. And it's like, ooh, like you're really going
of what though?
Just how happy she is and how great she's got it. I've not seen Dr. Nicole be as corny in the confessional as she was this episode. I mean, she was darn near, you know, snorting, you know, like she just really was trying hard is what I felt. I really did. I really saw that. But, you know, people will always say, well, Ronnie, you just like Larsa so much. I don't know. Let's see, where do we go from there? We are actually at the party. It was a lavish party. It was a beautiful party. And I do want to...
You didn't talk about how did you feel about the mirror?
The mirror? Well, you know, I thought the mirror, it was like I thought it was a reminder or a callback of when Karen gave Giselle the etiquette book and the mirror or the frame. And so I actually thought, I was like, ooh, Larsa, go ahead and pick that up and reflect it on yourself and say, well, I'm beautiful. That's what I wanted to happen. But I thought it was, you know, tacky. And maybe that's where I'm getting a little bit of this trying too hard moment. I don't know.
Here's the thing. I think Nicole really had a lot of moments this season. She's been focusing a lot, you know, on her marriage. And so I think this is the time where she like tapped in. But then I will say, you know, up the last 2 episodes, I probably was like, okay, honestly, why does Nicole have it? Because she was there, but she wasn't really giving me any like content. So I think this may have been, you know, something like, okay, it was a good housewife moment. I see dates online and people are saying that it was everything. Some saying it was whack. I think it was a top tier moment for Housewives, especially.
You say it again. You think it's what?
I think it was a top tier moment.
Oh wow! Okay.
Housewife moment, and especially time you don't get a lot of moments that are like, you know.
I'll be fair and I'll rewatch it. I'll rewatch it to see, like, you know, okay, if I wasn't such a Larsa fan, like, how would I react to it? But let's talk about how we do have to react to it as watching. So, you know, I saw a tweet actually that was like, oh, sure, Larsa, you're gonna be happily uninvited, you know, and just spending time with your dog versus going to a big fabulous party. And so I wrote on that tweet, that was from, or Instagram, that was from RHOM.peacock, which is an Instagram handle. It's got some really good stuff. And so I wrote, oh my gosh, like, do people really have FOMO like that? If somebody uninvites me, I've got no interest in even knowing what's going on. Like, I'm out of here. I'm going to be with the dogs. I'm going to be happy. I love me. I love my life. But it was funny. I wrote that and some people really did have FOMO, or I don't know if they did, but they were like, no, that's a lie. Larsa hated not being invited. And who would want to be with the dogs versus being at a fabulous party? And I'm like, is this how people move these days? Like, no, you uninvite me. In my mind, your thing is the most ridiculous party ever if I'm not there. That's how I feel, you know. Like Giselle Bryant said, wherever I sit is the baddest place in the room.
Place in the room, all right.
You know, Ronnie loves a Giselle Bryant too.
Now I don't like Giselle, but that line classic.
Okay, we got to move. Let's get into this part. Oh, one last little moment was Gertie talking to Nicole, but we kind of already mentioned that. We said, do we think Gertie kind of knew what was going on and or was playing both sides? You feel like not really. She's just
Gertie. She's not. I don't look at her as that kind of person. At least we've seen on the show. I'm not saying she's innocent, but she's kind of just easy breezy. Her only issue right now, I guess, Alexia. Other than that,
yeah.
Larsa. She's friends with Nicole. She's really the middle person in the group than anybody, because even like Julia, I mean, she has her her issues with people too. So
yeah,
like she's probably the most centered.
Okay. Let me shift my brain a little bit, because now Larsa's no longer on the rest of the episode. She's with her dogs. She's hawking her dog collar brand or whatever the case. But so now I got to shift into my, does Ronnie like Dr. Nicole, which I've said, if you've watched this show, you know that I do really like her. So let me shift. The cute parts that I liked that she said, oh, we're going to do it in this bank vault. Anthony hit the jackpot. I didn't give it up on the first night is what she insinuated. And he won the jackpot. And they says, well, because what happened? Like you hook up? No. But just me in general, I'm the jackpot. Those parts of Nicole I could really appreciate. Like, I like that. What did you think about the party in general? We've got a lot of components to it.
I thought it looked nice. It looked very expensive. I mean, it was an engagement party. I thought she could have probably did a little more with look, but I mean that's I guess a very simple girl. She's not really going to give you too much glam, But it was nice. Everyone looked great. I love seeing her mom and father there. I don't really agree with her saying to the father can come, but not his +1 or whatever. But whatever, that's a different conversation. But yeah, I thought it was nice, especially with the party actually itself. I say Miami has produced some of the best events thus far. Gertie's, was it the fashion show last year? Was like
for her brother. Yeah, that was so
that
beautiful.
Was everything. And the thing is, I feel like from what I know, these women, they actually have to. Their budget is not that high, and they're actually putting out the money for these events themselves. At least the majority of it. So it was nice.
You're right. It feels very real. It doesn't feel like Beverly Hills, where like, okay, production, like set this up, everyone jump in the scene, and let's all try to outshine each other. It feels like they have a point of view, a perspective, and I think some of the girls really are closer and more like friendly with Nicole and are very happy about this union. The one shocking thing to me is that last year it was very much like she wasn't going to get married, and then now this year she is. So I still don't know how that happened so quickly. I guess we never really got an answer to that, but love is love. Things change. What I thought was fun, because Kiki just keeps giving us fun. She has some moments with the dad, which was good. And then she also had this kind of dismissive moment with Julia, because Julia did uninvite her to her gathering. And, Kiki doesn't have much airtime, but I love that we had this like dismissive, well, this is how we do it in the modeling world. Toss our hair and we look fabulous.
Oh, Kiki, gosh. That's crazy, because Julia Lynette is petty just because Kiki, her friend of the show, she's already got limited camera time. So it's like you cut her from a whole invite.
Yeah, but it shows, because people are showing up loving Kiki. You know what I mean? Like I can't stop eating Burger King because of her. So there we go.
Right. This season, I will say she is, obviously you can tell she wants the mojito. She wants to be in the fight. So but she's gonna have to engage a little more. Like, she had a few things, but she has to like really get in there. The Burger King, that's not enough.
That's not. It's coming though, and that's funny you say that. On the channel, and I'll give you just a couple links here. We've got if you want to support our co-host that's not here today, which is Russell Ray Silva, go to russellraysilva.com, go to randomlyrjr.com, where you'll see my entire library of content. And if you want to make it rain a little bit, go to patreon.com/randomlyRjr. The reason I brought all that up, Tez, and Tez from The Lean is joining us today. I brought that up because you said she's trying to get her mojito. I actually have an episode dedicated to who deserves a mojito. So Marisol, Adriana, or Kiki, and it's right there on randomlyrjr.com. And it's a toss-up. sometimes I feel Marisol for sure because she's so connected, but also we saw Marisol as a full-time and it didn't really work. So, and she's working right now. Yeah.
This season, I think last season probably wanted the mojito. Marisol, this season she seems to be a little more chill.
Yeah. Hey, well, listen, if contracts came my way, I'm not necessarily saying I want a full-time, because full-time you're giving up a lot, but part-time you could still keep your businesses on the side, you could still stay active, you could be traveling, you could be in these streets, all the stuff. Yeah, so people got to realize that. I mean, the Marlo saga of it all. You know?
Oh, not Marlo, Jesus.
Let's move on. So, what did you think about the dad? It seemed like Alexia, Marisol, he's reminiscent of old Miami, which I like the concept of old Miami. I don't know that I love Dr. Nicole's father. Like a lot of people seem to really embrace him. I actually thought the two guys that they talked to at the restaurant were funner to me. Like I was like, ooh, like let's get them sassy queens in the show a little bit more. But I don't know. He's okay, but he's not that funny. He's not that interesting to me. What do you think of him?
I don't think of much of him at all. You know, he's a nice guy. He's a father. I love that he's like, he definitely loves Nicole and is trying to work with Nicole, regardless if she's doing it or not, herself, giving effort and all herself. But he's a cool guy. I don't think to him. I do kind of get tired of seeing scenes with him as well. But I know he is a very important part of our storyline as well. So we're gonna see, and especially in this moment, obviously he would be there. I'm just glad she invited him there, because something I just don't know with her and her father.
Yeah, I'm glad he was there for sure. And one thing I'll take Nicole's side over Alexia, even though Alexia is like, oh, you should always, be down with him regardless. Like, you don't know the dynamics that Dr. Nicole has with him. And if you are the person, I think you make those judgments. So for Alexia to be like, well, he seems fun. Right. Fun tonight at a party. That's not the same thing as fatherhood. So in that regard, I would say I'm on Dr. Nicole's side, but I could also see Alexia saying that because she did lose her mother, and it's kind of a thing of like, be careful, nothing lasts forever. So really embrace it. But yes, to Bravo, Peacock, whoever's producing all the stuff, he's not a Mama Elsa. No, he's not a side character that we love. Just so you know, if you think he's okay. He's all right.
He's not.
But no, he's not. We're not embracing him like that. So I think we could move on to the end of the episode, which is kind of where Dr. Nicole is with all the women downstairs wherever they were. And how did you assess what had happened? Like, do you feel like Dr. Nicole egged this on? Do you think that they egged it on to her? Yeah, tell me what you think.
Well, I mean, in this moment that she's expressing, why she feels how she feels about Larsa. And this is how she feels, of course, expressing it to the girls, because as Larsa said, she's been around this group for a long time. So they have a sense of loyalty to her, I don't know what she was trying to accomplish. She kind of set herself up, because it seems like kind of trying to slightly rally them to be on her side, in the sense of did this and this and this and this. I agree with Nicole, but I don't think she was talking to the right individuals. There is nobody in that group outside of Julia or Adriana that are going to with her and go against Larsa with her.
Yeah,
there's no one in the group, and so that's why it didn't land. But I think she was fine to do it, just wrong crowd.
I feel like she might have had conversations with Gertie separately, like, Larsa's XYZ, and with Julia, Larsa, she bugs me because of all these things, and whatever, people could have their judgments. Larsa's been through this before. So I think she had all these conversations, so in her mind, and or a producer amped her up, like, oh, this is gonna be your moment, like you're gonna be the one that puts your foot down, and she, it just didn't work. And it almost negatively, again, as a male, as a gay male, I'm not going to judge how women maneuver per se, although we're doing a healthy recap here. I think that it almost, if I dig deep, it almost kind of made it like, well, Alexia, you're going to feel the way you feel because talk to me when you've worked 20 years for something and a girl that's done nothing has succeeded or whatever the case. You almost kind of poo-pooed on even Alexia or just girls that, you know, went a different route, you know. And I don't think going the route of being a mother and, you know, taking care of your family is a bad thing. That is the duality that I always have empathy for women, that they've got to make that choice. And in many ways, that's why we love Dr. Nicole, because she's managing to do it both. She's the Kelly Ripa of it all. You know, she's the, I got my good work job situation and I got the kids at home and a loving husband. She's really Kelly Ripa of Miami. I just said that for the first time and I like that. But it just, she sounded very judgmental, and she kind of, you know, made the other women feel very, very odd, I thought.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. She can be, you know, a bit condescending, and when it comes to, you know, how she feels and the way she speaks. I mean, she is, you know, in the medical field. She worked for where she is, so I get it. But being like, I really relate myself a lot to Nicole, because I mean, being a person who was the first in my family to go to college, and have multiple degrees now, and just kind of work to where I am. You know, you are triggered by people that you know didn't necessarily take the same. Not saying it makes you better, but when they try to come for you in any way, especially in this case, she alluded to her, you know, sleeping around at the hospital at her job, you know. So that was a lot, Larsa. I mean, that was a lot. I mean, a lot.
I need an interview with Larsa Stat just so we could talk about that. Like, how does she feel? Does she backing it up 100%? Is she like, ooh, I went a little hard on that comment? Like,
You don't think that it's very, you know, it's so familiar that every time she gets into it with somebody, like they flashback, she always has something on somebody.
Oh, okay. Well, now here we go, Tez, where I slightly disagree, because I did put that in my notes, and it was a question I was going to ask you. With those flashbacks, did you feel like those flashbacks were convincing? Because I didn't. Oh, you did. Oh,
it literally showed times. I mean, so the one with Adriana.
It was Lisa, and then it was Adriana. Oh, Julia, then Adriana, and then Nicole. Yeah.
But it's like she always. It seems like she's holding on something for everybody. The fact that like you can't get into it with everybody and always say, "Well, I heard this about you." Like that is not.
Oh, Tess, can I offer a different perspective to you? I don't think it was that. I mean, this is honest to God. I mean, and again, I try so hard to make sure I don't have my Team Larsa goggles on. But I think, you know who? Perfect example. So I'm doing some radio work with the great Miss Jones, Jonesy in the Morning, 94.7 in New York City, as a correspondent, not correspondent, but as a colleague and whatnot. And I've learned from her. And even when we're on the phone, it's like I've learned a lot. But one of the things she does on the radio, she always says, leave Jonesy alone-zy, meaning if you leave it be, there's no issue. And the same thing with Larsa. If you just let her be, there's no issue. However, if you come with something, Larsa might just have something to throw back, is what I feel.
She did not. Nicole never attacked Larsa. She never attacked her. She heard. All she said was that she didn't know her, and she didn't want her in the house until she knew who she was. That made her. Larsa literally said that insulted me, or she said like I felt offended by that. And then she was like, "You trying to judge me? Like I for hearing blah 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 blah." Like I feel like even if you got into it, if you ever an argument, Ronnie, with Larsa, she's gonna say, "Well, I heard this about you," because she has something for everybody. It gets to the point to where it's like, okay, clearly there's like there is no way you have something for everybody you get into it with. I mean, come on.
I mean, what are they?
Better way to be combative for somebody, especially in a housewife moment, that to say, "Well, I heard this," because it's like, okay, like Nicole said, oh, okay, where's the facts? Like you heard this. There's like Alexia saying this man was married. There's like Mary Paul saying she heard. Like they always somebody they heard something. Where's the facts?
I mean, but Tez, don't start nothing, won't be nothing. Is like what is?
I agree with that completely. I just don't think those started. I think like again, Larsa became defensive. She defended herself by throwing it back out. I don't think Nicole attacked her at all. It wasn't an attack on her, whereas Larsa felt it.
because I value Tez's work and he has a great broadcast scenario over there on the lean. And I'll give you the courtesy of like, I'll review it. I'll rewatch the episodes and see if I could see it from that angle. That's the great thing about doing these episodes. Two things. There is room for everybody. That's number one. And even when I do the episodes with Russell, like I try to like listen to the other side. That way I can be like, maybe I'm not seeing something. And I'm a very passionate guy. So it's nice that we could all have these opinions, slightly different, slightly the same, and check it out and have fun with these shows. If you do want to check out the show, it is The Lean on YouTube, and it's very good. They cover tons of well, you could take it away. What do you cover?
Cover basically all things Bravo, mostly all the Housewives franchise, minus Real Housewives of OC and I think that's it. Oh, and New York, I'm not covering that. So yeah, basically all things Housewives, Potomac, Atlanta, Married to Medicine. And I mean, pretty much we're doing Miami as well. We do our episodes in 2. So we're doing episodes 9 and 10 together. So, I mean, all things Housewives, we've done things such as like The Circle, done some one-off shows. We've done some Insecure. We've done Love is Blind. It just depends on the interest of what's going on. We will do it. We've done Legendary. Pretty much anything reality TV is just
Sweet Life also. Issa Rae show. Yeah.
It's canceled.
Oh, it is. I watched season 1, not all of it, but a lot of it, and I like where they were going. And then I heard season 2 was so good, and then I didn't know it was canceled until this moment.
Yeah. So yeah, anything reality TV wise, we will cover, but special emphasis on Housewives.
Yeah, and a big thank you to you for the times that I've had to ask you questions about creating the work that I'm doing now. Granted, I have come from radio, so I knew what to do in terms of those things, but in doing a channel is some work.
It's work.
So it's nice to chat with Tez. And again, Tez is he is out there. He is just doing it. He's dipping and doing.
Not really. I'm not in Miami in the middle, but that's why I feel I would be.
Yeah. So before we wrap out, my last thing that I remembered I wanted to bring up, I do love the little comic relief of Kiki saying, "The whole hospital, who's got time for that?" And that's what you need with the show sometimes. And I think like sometimes it gets so serious, and I think you need that humor for sure. I guess that's it. If we forgot anything, we'll get back next episode. Where can they follow you and subscribe to your channel, Tez?
Okay, so you can actually follow me personally at Stupid Wild Tez, which is on the screen, or you can go to The Lean Official for the actual channel, blogs, Instagram or Twitter. But also, of course, YouTube for as The Lean. You can type in Potomac, any housewife show with The Lean, it will pop up in the algorithm. So just look up The Lean. We're there.
And we'll have to go to the Lean YouTube channel to find out why he doesn't necessarily like Giselle. So this is interesting. I didn't know you.
Oh my God.
I didn't know. You know, I interviewed her. I told you, right? I interviewed her before.
Do I need to give a reason why I don't like Giselle?
No. We'll save that. Now I want people to go to the channel. Not right now. This was good. Thank you very much. RandomlyRonnieJr.com is the site which will get you all the content. And if you want to support, patreon.com/RandomlyRonnieJr. Big shout out to the entire cast because they are sharing their lives. So yes, we are critical, but we got love for Dr. Nicole. We got love for Anthony. We got love for Kiki, Marisol, Larsa, the whole group for sure. Even Leah, who is coming back soon. We'll see how that goes. Thanks, Tez. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, Ronnie Jr.